Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, second match of Season 36. Last round was a win. We are still just on the verge of the Kyber 3, Kyber 2 jump. So as long as we win this round, we'll be back in Kyber 2. And we'll see if we're any closer to being able to compete again at that level once we have that second, or now that we have our third GL. Here's a quick little review. Couple holds in the front wall here. Malgus getting one, CLS. The JAWAS team that I placed is intentionally weak. The whole purpose and idea here was I'm trying to draw out a GL at Gear 12. I'm not really expecting him to do anything, so I kept off the Hunt Cartel. All I want is for him to eat a strong counter. We'll check in the Grand Arena history next week if that indeed happened, but that is what we're thinking about. And Fleet here, he didn't even attempt, which is not a surprise. He only had a 5-star Executor and no Profundity, so pretty weak in Fleet. With today's bracket, and my opponent here today is Thalon. He is a smaller GP player. Zetas are fine, somewhat low, not as a relevant stat these days. Omicron's is tied for lowest in the bracket at 9. He does have a few more territory war ones, a little bit more diversified. GL's though is 4, so not anything scary. We can deal with this one. We don't need to worry about getting stuck. Relic units is low for the types of players we've been seeing lately, but not so much in Kyber 3, kind of in the middle. The Gear 11 Plus, though, this is a low number. At 139, it's the second lowest in the bracket. He has there's a chance that my defense can do a better job of getting holds on this guy and him getting stuck. Not with how I play defense, that's likely not going to happen, but at this level, that's where I'm hoping that my opponent is going to run out of counters. 6-stop mods is low, but beyond that, his mods in general are very weak. This is going to be our strongest advantage, where his top 25 average is only plus 22.6. That's the weakest in the bracket and one of the weakest we've seen lately. And the top 500 of an average of plus 12 is definitely one of the weakest mod sets that we've seen in a long time. And that's also reflected in the counts, where we're just lapping him with the counts of every category, the 25 plus, 20 plus, and 15 plus. With the rest of the bracket, partly the winners, Freddie J and Boom Shaboon. If we beat Thalon, we're going to see one of these two guys. We've got a 7 GL player, 4 GL player. Depth on both of them. On Freddie J is good, a little bit weaker, but the mod quality on the two of them is fairly decent. I'm still beating both of them. They're actually a little bit weak for the bracket, some of them, but definitely weak for what we've been going up against in Kyber 2. But for the bracket, they're fine. Counts are a little poor. Datacrons, Freddie J is participating, Boom Shaboom a little bit. My opponent Thalon is not participating at all. So you can see a number of places where Thalon's account is pretty weak and not participating, and it makes me think that he probably got a no-show in the first round. Now when it comes to the GLs, he has Lord Vader, JMK, JML, and Sith Eternal Emperor. He does have Malgus. Iden is not at a usable level, so that's going to thin out his defense and make him a little shallower. Only one Ami on Starkiller. Does not have a usable Savage. No Ami. Well, Trey probably has an active Ami. I think we're just saying players have not reapplied it yet. And he does have Ben SWOLO. I do think he is an active Conquest participant. Grand Arena is a little bit more variable. Now what we are looking at here with the rest of these mods, I'm fairly strong. He does have Profundity and Executor, and that's a smart play and probably another reason why he's even in Kyber 3 based on some of the stats we're seeing here. Looking at the hotbot information, undersizes and clears are very low, so we can definitely run up the banner count with the undersizes. Clears means there's a good chance that he's probably going to get stuck, and maybe my defense will have a shot at doing a little bit of work. Although he does have a lot of GLs for offense, so he might not get tripped up. But then again, my opponent last round did too, and he got tripped up a couple times. With the relic distribution, it's a little bit more top heavy, a little heavier on the relic 7s and a little higher count on the relic 8s. So what he does have relics is probably going to be fairly well relicked, a little bit stronger, and that's reflected here with some of his GLs, and we're seeing it with some of these other characters. But Starkiller only relic 5, that's a pretty important relic. And we'll take a look at the speeds now. This is actually a little bit more alarming. I looked at this earlier. He's very shallow. We know the quality of his mods are, but this we look at to get more of an idea of the quality of the modding itself. Even with a smaller set of mods, he could still place them well. What we're seeing here is that he doesn't really place them well. His Echo is his last character above 300 speed. He only has 9. Then he has Shock T, Mara Jade at that 299 level, and then we can see how quickly he gets shallow and how a number of characters you want faster are falling below that threshold, which is going to give us some pretty strong advantages and make a lot of our counters have a higher success rate. Now, we are going to attack first. I'm playing this a little bit earlier than I have been lately. I'm a little concerned about that because I do want to do a little bit of testing and it might trip us up. But here's what we haven't made any alterations, but a quick review. Grievous. This is something that's probably going to be coming off of defense somewhat soon, but I got to throw something down. And without relics on some of these characters, I can't really use Grievous on some of those higher encounters, so they're going to stay there for a little bit longer, but you can expect B2 at a minimum is going to be getting relics fairly soon. We got Mon Mothma, First Order, and BAM. None of them I'm really expecting to get holds these days. Down below, we've got our Qui-Gon, Malgus with the good Datacron, Jabba, and then CLS, who, why don't I have a Datacron there? Doesn't matter if characters can't use the set, you want the extra stat boost. Now we got Radis, Geos, and Iden on the back wall, and Geos especially shouldn't be there, but I need some filler. I've just been going heavy on offense for my own survival lately. Now we got Negotiator, Executor, and Radis, and here is what we are facing. We have, I feel like the volume's a little high here on the sound effects, the special effects, sound effects. Lord Vader, we've got Dash, Bossk with Zam and a Datacron. Here is what is on it. That's not what I meant to do. We've got the dots and Retribution. There's not a lot of dots that are going to be set by this. I guess Boba Fett will. And then we have a ROLO squad. This is one of the places where I'm going to do some testing. And with the amount of AoEs on that squad, it might get a hold. So maybe we won't do testing. I got to feel out how comfortable I am with giving up a battle. Because I really want to do some Zorii and Sana testing this video. The other place that we're looking at doing some Zorii or Sana testing is going to be up against this IG-88 squad, which I think is going to be a lot more manageable because there's fewer AoEs. Just a far reduced risk that those AoEs are going to eliminate some of our lower star characters, because the Sana is 5 stars and then the Zorii Bliss is 3 stars. They're both gear 11, but still. Now we got Malgus, Qui-Gon, and JTR. Now we could do the testing on the back wall, that is true. The problem there is I'm expecting Ewoks, Mon Mothma, and it's Ewoks, Night Sisters, and Geos. That's what his Grand Arena history showed. And I don't think we're going to learn anything testing up against those characters. They're pretty weak, lower gear, and whether or not the characters win on testing, it's not going to really tell us anything. So it's kind of a waste, so I'd rather use the IG-88 or the ROLO for the testing purposes. That's like the floor I want to work with. All right, let's... So we're going to do Grand Inquisitor up against Qui-Gon. It's going to crush it, but there's no other Jedi. I guess I could use my Inquisitor somewhere else. But it's a fairly weak defense. We've got a... This is going to be a paint by numbers kind of match, other than the testing that we do. This is a fairly weak defense. Just that Lord Vader is going to be the toughest thing that we face. Alright, let's get to it. Let's just take out Qui-Gon right away. There's no reason to wait. I know most of you aren't going to have Grand Inquisitor. A lot of players wanted to put him off, but this is why I emphasize always going for farms very quickly and to chase after where you think the ball is going. And there was a lot of emphasis on Inquisitors. I didn't want to delay them. Plus, the way I like to build my roster is to very quickly have a snowballing effect where I want to go after the characters that are a shorter route and easier to get. That's why I'm going to get Afra next week. It's why I went after Grand Inquisitor before going after Jabba, is because I want to see a compounding effect from the things that I work on. Now with Grand Inquisitor, it partially worked out, but I was expecting him to come back far sooner than he did. I had him ready in September, and we had to wait till Christmas to get him. Alright, then Malgus here. This is going to be gas. Yeah, but for any of you players, I would be making Afra a priority. Profundity first if you don't already have it, but then get Afra. Okay, I want some protection. If I can have a combination of protection and some damage. Do I have like crit damage and protection? Protection and offense? I'll do protection and defense. We had a second one of those though. 34. Yeah, this one definitely. Zorii has enough mechanics here that should allow us to get a nice advantage to start. I think I want to eliminate one of the AoEs quickly. I got to remember which of these we want to do first. So we're not going to really... We're going to taunt, call a bunch of assists, or... There's no expose. Yeah, we'll do the mass assist. I'll do the buff immunity there. I don't know if it matters. We'll get tenacity up on everyone. Boba Fett's the only other AoEs, so I'm going to try and stun him. But right now we got to hit those exposes for the turn meters. Let's do mass assist again. I don't really feel like we're learning anything here. I think what we're learning is why you need to have good mods. Okay. Fun, I guess, but it's not a... It was not a bounty hunter comp that most players are going to come up against. Limited lessons there. But there were a good amount of relics, and this is what we were expecting. Night Sisters, Geos, and Ewoks. We'll get back to it. We will, yeah, let's just JMK this. No. What do we want? Let's do that. Armored tenacity. Okay. Eliminate Royal Guard. Let's dispel. It's fine. Let's eliminate MAUL before he becomes a threat again. Almost. That'll cement it. Now we can eliminate Thrawn. After this, we might talk some nonsense or something. I do have thoughts on James Gunn and the DC Universe changes. I don't want a counter right now. Let's clear the Foresight. Let's make sure we don't lose our boy Kenobi. That should take out Thrawn. Not quite. Okay, fine. That might take out Thrawn. Not quite. Now we can get to work. So glad that Datacron is gone. I wish I would have been able to use that Palpatine Datacron. Some players could, if you had Sith Eternal Emperor, you could do it, but I didn't have a lot of the characters to utilize that Datacron. Save that for next time. Why are you missing? We could auto. I just want to... We can put him on autopilot soon. I just don't trust him right now. Alright. We would have been fine on auto. Alright, we're going to maul the Bossk. We could use Hondo, but we're not, because I want to use Hondo elsewhere, because I want to just show some of the things he can do. Although it's going to be kind of a low banner thing to attempt. What do we want? It's just kind of Canderous, right? That's a good one. I need to take a look or inventory which squads we're not using so I can establish who can go back on defense. Because I really got to beef up that defense. It is not acceptable right now. Zam. Definitely want to eliminate Zam. That's fine. Because they can't counter this attack. Awesome. Okay. Hopefully this takes out Bossk. Perfect. And now let's hit Boba Fett. Maul, I mean, he was a great addition to the game. I was so happy that when he finally arrived. He's definitely one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Doesn't matter. Hit that stagger. Oh, the daze here is going to be pretty huge. That's basic. Definitely. Because he's got the weapons tech, he was going to stop revives. Did Retribution never go away? That's great. You know what? I did have bounty hunters on defense before. Why did I take them off? It was for Fennec. It was probably because Fennec I needed for Lord Vader. But, you know, without that data crown, we don't need as much. I need to put them back on defense. We can still save enough bounty hunters for Lord Vader. This data... I've got this data crown, and I can be... This got holds for me before. Last 5v5 season. It surprised more people last season, but this is actually the first time I've gone up against it to actually see it in action. And I like what I'm seeing. This is very annoying. I chose wisely in using MAUL here. I think we're just gonna blow up Dash with JML. I don't even want to think about it. We're not using this stuff elsewhere. We're gonna have fun in a second. Just right now we're doing this. Or do I want to do Star Killer? No, let's just do this. Yeah, let's do crit damage and crit chance. Okay, there's no Vandor. So I'm going to try and take out Bo. Because she is going to have all that recovery. Well, I guess the recovery is only going to be if we're just going to take out Dash. This is a nonsense Dash squad. I don't know why I brought in so much. Now for testing, for fun stuff. We know we're going to do, let's just do it now. We're going to do Sana here. And then we want Rebels, so we're going to bring in Captain Han, Rolo, Stormtrooper Han. That's the base. I guess we should probably bring in Lando, because I think he's the other one who is kind of works well here. I was trying to remember if Leia, how that worked. No, Leia's intended with Akbar, so... Let's just get into it. Let's see what happens. I don't know if there's going to be a speed catch-up mechanic. It does seem like we're doing pretty well with speeds, though. I'm going to focus down on Captain Han. Let's get our mass assist going. That was less scary than I thought it was going to be, but maybe it's because maybe she doesn't have enough crit chance on her. I should have thrown a daze onto Leia. Okay. Hit the stagger. Nobody has vulnerable. I'm going to hit Rolo because Lando's going to die. We don't even inflict vulnerable. Fine. So that's how I feel about Sana. She dies easy. Let's bring her back. This was why we... This is why we brought Sana into this squad, because I knew Captain Han could do that if things went poorly. But with the mod advantages we had, that went fine. Okay. Now here, I want to use Hondo somewhere. And I think Night Sisters is probably going to be the most revealing. And I know it's going to work because I've done it before. Relic levels may have been a little different though. Yeah, do I want? We're gonna do it like this. I'm intentionally bringing in weaker characters. Like, we have other options, but I want them to die. Dash is arguable. And really, Kira's kind of like, I don't want to do that yet. We're gonna do this. Okay, perfect. That was well played. We're gonna throw the ransom over on Telzine and then ignore Telzine. Yeah, we'll hit the AoE. Oh my god. I should not have done the AoE. There's no relics on the Telzine. Alright, fine. Never mind, I messed it up again. I should have just done a basic or the stun. But I didn't. Now I'm gonna wish we had Vandor. Vandor wouldn't have affected the Hondo situation, I don't believe. But this is... We might need to just leave this now, because I misplayed this. With Hondo, he has to get 5 ransom before you take anybody out. Let's see what we can do with... Ugh, come on. I'm just hoping with the next AoE maybe we do some damage, but we're probably going to get stun locked now. No, not quite. Yeah, we're out. Alright, we're gonna Vader this. Oh, I just needed to have... We want the turn meter. I just needed to have used a basic. Oops, I thought the taunt was still there. We're gonna nest solo the Ewoks move. I don't think we have any more testing to do. Telzine's gone? Okay. We don't need a datacron, but while we're here. How's this going? Did he even have a... There's no Omicron or anything here, right? Not that it matters. I guess, okay, so here's a couple quick thoughts. I love All-Star Superman. That is a good influence to be leading with the Superman stories. I like that they're potentially, because of that, going towards a more Silver Age Superman, which I think is kind of when Superman was at his best. There's a few modern stories that I really like. Superman Birthright is an excellent story. And technically All-Star Superman's a modern story. But there's more I can say. But I like the Superman family and not as much of a fan of the Bat family. My only concern is with James Gunn being so involved with the Superman project. Like, James Gunn's tone would be perfect for Booster Gold. Superman needs to be played more straight, and I don't know if he's gonna do it or not. So that's my concern there. Is there anything we want to do for fun? No, not really, because with Daka's gonna do some annoying things. Let's just Wampa this. We gotta make up a couple banners for that slip up. At least there's no leadership now. There's one. This should be two. Oh, was there already two? Never mind. Can we take out Daga before it ramps? No. Nice. Perfect. Alright, fine. Don't relic your zombie. That's a mistake. Alright, fleet. Oh, this is good news. Is it good news? No. No, he's got a strong fleet. He could clear fleet, no problem. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that James Gunn tone is perfect for a lot of things. Like, it's perfect for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's perfect for the Suicide Squad. Like, I've liked everything that James Gunn has done. Like, go watch Slither if you haven't watched Slither. That's great. Romeo and Juliet's great. But so far, the projects that he's done have been very appropriate towards his tone. Like, I think I've talked about Belko Experiment on here before, which he wrote. That movie was hurt by him not doing it, because that movie was designed and written for his tone, and the director who took it over just tried to play it like a more straight horror movie, and that was wrong. And Peacemaker is one fantastic show. I love Peacemaker. Alright. We're gonna do a basic. It's a little risky, but it's how I like to do it. Because we get enough recovery from the assists that you can risk it. Leaving the mark on the Falcon, that is. Yeah, see? It's a little risky, but I usually get away with it. And then I do this. We don't gotta worry about it anymore. It's kind of an unnecessary risk, but it saves a turn, and from that you can usually get to the ultimate a turn faster, which can make a difference. Alright, we're going to try out the Scythe and Defender this time. And I'm hoping we actually get to bring out the Defender. Last time the battle ended before I brought out the Defender. We might just bring out the Defender just quickly. We're not playing, I guess, a match where maybe it won't matter. I mean, how do we want to play this? See, the Scimitar, I think that, I don't know if that works up against every capital ship. It works for the Profundity. I kind of want it to, no, that's not what I want. I feel like this is risky. I am inviting some losses here, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, let's get the foresight up. Definitely do that. Definitely keep doing what we're doing. Yeah, hit those. Okay, hating the buff immunity. Yeah, we'll do that. The buff immunity is really hurting us. Maybe I should have healed. Yeah. We're in a bad position. Oh, this is terrible. Alright. We need a tank. Awesome. That'll get rid of the foresight at least. Hate it. I don't want buff immunity. We're going to bring out the TIE Defender now. We're not even going to get stack formation though, because the buff immunity situation. fun. Okay, works out great, but this was sloppy. We didn't learn anything from that. Like, there's different ships I could have brought in, but I still am trying to utilize those ships in a way where the Chimera can be its own thing, even though the Sith Bomber doesn't really work great. And we're going to Raven's Claw this just because it's nonsense. Actually, no, we're not. I got to make up some banners. We can't be doing this. We surrendered a lot of banners with that Executrix nonsense. With all the reinforcements that we used, that was low. So here we at least can make up some of them. We'll see how it goes. I do expect him to play. You can see from some of the teams he set on defense, he's not a player who I think watches YouTube or anything where he's going to know optimal squads, so there's a chance he could slip up a couple times, but technically he has a strong enough offense remaining where he can clear my board fairly easily if he plays them out in the right way. My defense is soft. It's very soft. So we'll see how it goes. I'll append the results to this. We cut it a little close with this one. A one, technically two banner win. With the tie, we would have got the win as well. I did get more holds than him, so there's a hold up front here with the Qui-Gon squad. That slipped him up. That's the only squad hold. Fleet's got another. So with Fleet's, the Executor took him 2 attempts. And it's a little interesting that the banners is this close considering it took him 2 attempts. It either means he undersized or that we dropped a lot of banners with some of the attempts that we took, like the gas team dropped a lot of banners and that Empire fleet dropped a lot of banners. So I think we were very right to feel a little concerned about that and went with that MAUL counter at the end to make up a few. And I think that closed the distance and secured the win, that final call. Otherwise, this went fairly well, a little scary. But it's a testament to what I've been saying about my defense, that it's become too soft as I've pulled all these teams to offense for testing purposes. With this victory, we'll be moving up to Kyber 2, and as long as we secure a victory in the next match, we'll be finishing the week at that level, and next round will be a Kyber 2 bracket. We'll have Afra for that, but she's not going to be at Relics. I don't have a lot of surplus Kyros after I do the event. We're going to, between Afra and Jabba, we need something like 400 Cairo computers alone. And my surplus right now is very limited. We'll be lucky to take her to Gear 11 for next week. But we'll be set up in a good place where we can at least test out some of those squads. But thank you for watching. Be safe out there, everyone. Be excellent to each other. This is still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.